Okay, welcome to another keyboard class. So let's begin the way we normally do with a little massage and a little working on our hands. Okay, so starting on page 4, you're dangling from the wrist, shaking them out a little bit, and then you choose whether you want to count 1, 2, 3, 4 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Either way, it doesn't matter, as long as you get the stretching. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Shaking them out, turning them over, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do that as many times as necessary for you, okay? Okay, so this is a little review, so you remember your fingering. Both hands starts with the thumb and goes to the little fingers, so 1 through 5 on both hands. So then, just a review on the black notes. You've got groups of 2 and 3, and once you recognize, for example, that middle C is between the very first key to the left of the 2 black keys, okay? So you can pick out any note from the relationship to the black keys. Okay, so let us continue. Now, the isometric exercises, if you'll recall, you're pushing and then, okay, you do that a few times because you're trying to get your fingers into playing shape. And then there's the massage, there's your palm, there's your fingers, and I like to do my thumbs because the thumb feels neglected sometimes when you don't take care of it, So, and while we're doing that, looking back over on page 11 where they explain about curving your fingers, because if you try to play straight, your thumb won't reach the keys. So, okay. So there are excuse me, review on the notes. The quarter note is worth 1 beat or 1 count. The half note is worth 2. And down below on page 13, they want you to write in, looking at each measure, what is the time signature. And if you'll recall on time signatures, the top number is the beats to the measure, how many beats there are to the measure, and the bottom number is, in this case, a 4 is for a quarter note. So every quarter note gets 1 beat, and there's 4 beats to the measure. So if you're looking down at Ode to Joy, okay, so the part of the exercise is clapping the rhythm evenly and counting out loud. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The next line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So play and sing or say the finger numbers. Okay, so you're starting here on E, on your 3rd finger, right? So you can count, let's see, let's do the finger numbers. So 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 2. And 2 beats, you got a half note there at the end. 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1. So now let's say the notes. So you're starting with E. So E, E, F, G, G, F, E, D, C, C, D, E, E, D, D. C, C, E, oh, wait a minute, E, E, F, G, G, F, E, D, C, C, D, E, D, C, C, okay? So, as we go on page 14, hopefully you've drawn some of the clef sign for the treble clef. And then down below, so there's some exercises along the way here for hopefully you've done. So at the bottom there shows you an opportunity to write what notes there are in the box below, and the same over here. So we'll just go through that. C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C. So if that's what you wrote, then you're correct. So over here on page 15, so C, E, G, E, C, E, G, E, G, E, C is what you should have. So what they're saying there is we were playing just the notes that are on the lines. The next one is just on the spaces. So D, F, D, F, F, D, D, F, D, F, D, and then with lines and spaces, C, E, D, F, E, G, E, F, D, E, C. And then the next one, G, E, F, D, E, C, E, D, F, E, G. And then the final one is C, C, E, E, C, C, D, D, E, E, F, F, G, G. You know, as I get older, my eyesight gets a little bit wonky, if you will. So, okay, so now we're moving to the left hand. And left hand warm up. Okay, now your little finger, number 5, is going to be on C. That's an octave below middle C. So starting with, we'll be starting with G, G, F, E, D, C, G, F, E, D, C, C, D, E, F, G, C, D, E, F, G, G, F, E, D, C, C, D, E, F, G. Okay. So when you look over on the right hand side, we're adding a new note now. We have a whole note, which is a count of 4 in a 4/4 time signature. So looking at right below here, where it shows 4 measures, so you'll be counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so clap the rhythm of Arali down below. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is just with the left hand, so it goes C, F, E, F, G, D, G, F, E, D, E, F, 3, 4. C, F, E, F, G, D, G, F, E, D, E, F. Okay? So, I recommend these little practices, play them several times, and I'd like to go back to reading again. If you just spend, especially people who don't have a keyboard, any reading that you do every day is just going to help you. And so you can go up into the book, even if you can't play, you can read, and if you practice reading 15 minutes a day, you'll be surprised by the time you actually do have something to play. You will have made playing a lot easier, because if you can't read, it's really hard to play unless you're one of those very rare people who can listen to a song one time and play it. You don't have to know how to read music if you can play by ear. But that's not the class here, okay? So, okay, so there's the bass clef. They're showing you where it is. We've talked about that. It's the second line down from middle C there. And so if you look below, you have an exercise there, which is you have to fill in the boxes down below there what note. So it should be C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C. And just like we did on the right hand, on the left hand here, it's, okay, you're just dealing with the spaces right now. So C, E, G, E, C, E, G, E, C, E, C, or G, E, C. And then you're just dealing with the notes that are on the lines. So D, F, D, F, F, D, D, F, D, F, D. And then both lines and spaces, so they can be anywhere. So C, E, D, F, E, G, E, F, D, E, C. So hopefully you've done that. You've written those in. Even if you don't have a keyboard, it doesn't matter. You know where the note. Hopefully you're learning where the notes are. So the next one is G, E, F, D, E, C, E, D, F, E, G, and then finally C, C, D, C, C, D, D, E, E, F, F, G, G. Okay. And then they give you an example of the grand staff, which is putting both the treble clef and the bass clef together with a brace, and it's called the grand staff. And so you've got middle C in the middle, that's that bar line, and then you've got on your left hand down an octave below middle C down here. So we have, I don't remember if we had yes, we did this last time. So you know that you have a whole rest, and the whole rest is below the line facing down, where the half rest looks just like it, only it's above the line facing up. But what we're doing right here is we're dealing with the whole rest. So you're starting with your right hand, C, D, E, F, G, 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 F, E, D, C, 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 and then down to the left hand, C, D, E, F, no, C, D, E, F, G, 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 F, E, D, C, C, C. And then you see those two dots on the treble clef and the bass clef at the end there means to repeat the whole thing. So it's not necessary to do that right here, but for you to recognize that when you see that, you go back to the beginning and repeat. So rock along, okay, again, you have in the bass clef nothing but whole rest, so you're dealing with your right hand first. So let's count first. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Down to the bass clef. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So starting with the right hand on middle C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the bass, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then the Mexican hat dance. Okay, so you're going to start with your left hand, and as you can see, we have a quarter rest, which is very dark and easy to see, so it's different than all of the other rests that you will see coming up. So they're easy to recognize. So counting, again, we have 4 beats to the measure. So 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're starting with the left hand on G. So 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. And then the right hand, 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So. Okay. So there's your notes, your quarter note, your half note, and your whole note, and the counting. So as I explained before, the bottom number is in this case, a 4 is for a quarter note, and a quarter note gets 1 beat, and there are 4 beats to the measure. So there are some exercises here. Down below, you can fill in these measures to make sure that you have 4 beats to a measure. For example, in the very first one, now I've filled mine in here from years ago, and so I'm assuming that this thing that I wrote on the end of the first measure is a quarter note. And so then you have 2 quarter notes, so then you want a half note, and then in the end, in the next one you have a half note because you have 2 quarter note. No, you don't have. See, I can't even hardly read my own writing here, okay. And then the last one is a whole note. So you've got some exercises there, do that. And then over on page 23, again, we have whole rests. Okay, so beginning with, so this is lightly row. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it's a good idea to do that as you're learning because it helps you with the rhythm. So, so we're beginning on G. So. And then the left hand. Okay, and so the next one, Aunt Rhody, looks like, let's see, so you're going to add the bar lines now, so to separate the measures, and so you want, so this is a little exercise, so that you have 4 beats to the measure. So in the first one you have a half note and 2 quarter notes, so there's where your first line will go. So anyway, I'm going to count this one out and you can do that on your own. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're beginning on E. Okay, so I think this brings us to where I ended up last week. So, so now we're dealing with intervals, and there's a couple of ways that you can look at it. If you look at the very first line there, we're starting with C, so CD is a second, CD. So in terms of counting, there's 2 ways that I've looked at it that make sense, and that is, okay, if we're starting with C, C is 1, and D is 2, and there's your second, 1, 2. And if C is 1 and E is a third, so you have 1, 2, 3. So that's one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is you're starting with C, but instead of counting that as 1, count the very next note, whether it's there or not, is going to be 2. So I don't know which way is easier for you. For me, it's almost like, well, if I start with 1 on the note that I'm at, then I know where I'm going. So that's easier for me. But it might be easier for you to just take the very next white key and call that 2, and then, because we're dealing here with seconds and thirds, later we're going to be dealing with fourths and fifths and on. And so you have to figure out what is the best way for you to understand where you are. So anyway, so this is a second, this is a third, and then so that's the difference in the sound of a second and a third. This is second, this is a third. Okay, so you know, when you look at children's books, beginning piano, one of the things that I like about this book is it really is geared for adults, and what you get even in the very beginning is very different than what you get in a children's book. So, okay, so Clair de Lune. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, unfortunately, here we're dealing with P, which is piano, which means soft, but on an inexpensive keyboard, there is no soft or loud, and so we'll just have to deal with that as best we can. For those who have pianos at home, you know, it's good for you to recognize that now and play softly. So it's a very light touch on the key to get a piano sound, a soft sound, and then the next one is MF, mezzo forte, which is moderately loud. And you're going to find, you're going to see these words like moderate, and you're going to have to determine what is moderate for me, right? So, but anyway, so okay, so going down to a tisket, a tasket, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is all on the bass clef. So starting with G, okay, on the next page you're dealing with intervals, and so in the boxes you want to indicate whether this is a second or a third, if you're going up or you're going down, and so that's an excellent exercise for you to work on. So on page 26, we're dealing with harmonic intervals, which are, that's a second, that's a third. When they're played together, it's called a harmonic interval. And then on the left hand, so seconds and thirds. Okay, so now we have forte, which is loud, and fortunately that's what we have here. So it's going to be what it is. Okay, so let's count this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 rest, 3 rest, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 rest, 3 rest, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 rest, 3 rest, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Well, now, how you count your rest is up to you, but anyway, you have 4 beats there, you got 2 rests, and you got quarter notes, so 4 beats is what you're going to end up with. So you're going to be playing both hands now, so starting with F, rest, 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 okay, so let's try that again. page 27, seconds and thirds. Now, the fourth and the fifth and the third and the fifth on your left hand there, those are the weaker fingers, and so that's good practice because you need to play them both at the same time. So, starting again. So you're still dealing with seconds and thirds, but you're going from the first and second finger and the first and third finger, and then on the right hand, and then over in the third measure, the fifth and the fourth, but there's still seconds and thirds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you have an exercise relating to those intervals up there, and you can fill in those boxes. And then you've got a harmonic rock here, and so and then repeat. But it's basically the same relationships, the 1 and 2 fingers, the 1 and 3, the 4 and 5, and so it just gives you a little piece of music there to use those intervals with. So now we're going to go just a little bit farther if we have time. Okay, so let's do our fourths and fifths. So again, counting, you can count from the first note that you're going to play and count that as 1, or you can count the very next white note from that note that you're going to play as 2. Either way, it comes out the same. So, good king. And then if we can do one more here. And rest. Okay, so I guess that's all the time we have right now. Next time I'll go more quickly through the review so that we have more time to. This is a work in progress. Okay, so I apologize if you're not getting enough out of it yet, but once we get together, everybody's in a different place, and so this is very challenging just doing it for thinking that everybody's in the same place, which I know you're not. So anyway, happy playing. Yeah.